Welcome back. I wanted to give you a weekly update on the two topics that continue to plague the NFL and continue to be the news outside of what's going on the field. They involve two major running backs, Ray Rice and Adrian Peterson. Last week, I wasn't with you because I was spending it in front of a law office in New York City dealing with the Ray Rice arbitration hearing. The two sides were essentially this. Ray Rice and his team were arguing that they gave Roger Goodell a full and complete accounting of what happened before, during, and after the elevator in that Atlantic City casino, saying they told him exactly what happened and nothing changed when that video came out. And they argue that precedent would be only 2 games for domestic violence suspensions in the Roger Goodell era, and in fact, many players didn't get any discipline at all. On the other side, Roger Goodell and his team in the NFL were certainly arguing that no, there was not a full and complete accounting, and what they heard from Ray Rice before and during that hearing in June was vastly different from what that happened, according to the video released in September. Hopefully, Roger Goodell got into more than the evasive and guarded words he was using before, such as ambiguous and inconsistent, and really explained the differences. So, we wait. There has been a hearing now for 3 days, and we expect a ruling hopefully this week, if not next week, whether Ray Rice would be relieved or his indefinite suspension voided by arbitrator Judge Barbara Jones. We'll see if that happens. The second step, of course, to Ray Rice getting on the field would be a team that lines up to sign him. And speaking of teams, a further note on that. The Baltimore Ravens, I always wondered where they would line up with Ray Rice because they supported him throughout, as we've talked about, all the way up until releasing him the morning of the video coming out. But Ozzie Newsome was testifying in that hearing last week, and according to sources, his testimony was about that Ray Rice told him the truth, that told him he hit her. So that would line up on the side of Ray Rice. On the other hand, the Ravens line up on the side of the commissioner because they too acted adversely when that video came out. After supporting him throughout, they cut him the morning of the video. So it'll be interesting to see where that testimony comes in. We will see a long opinion from Judge Jones, but that will be after she issues her ruling, probably later this week or earlier next week, about whether Ray Rice's indefinite suspension is lifted or not. The other big running back situation, Adrian Peterson has a plea deal about his child abuse allegations down in Texas where he whipped his young son. That is resolved. Now, when it was resolved, the NFLPA and Peterson's side assumed or thought or based on a document that the NFL would immediately either reinstate him or apply a discipline for what he did. The NFL has a different interpretation. They think that now that it's resolved, they're going to look at the documents, they're going to weigh it, they're going to value, they're going to deliberate, and then decide what to do. So we have a vastly different. Adrian Peterson's camp wants him dealt with immediately. The NFL wants to take its time. So what happens? Here we go again. Another arbitrator, another grievance filed by Adrian Peterson's side against the NFL to see what will happen. That will happen next week. Arbitrator Shyam Das will hear it, and we will find out if Adrian Peterson is cleared to play or not, or there's additional discipline. What that will be interesting to see. We have a 6-game domestic violence first offense policy now by the NFL, but we don't even know if that's the policy. We still wait to see what these policies are. NFLPA is supposedly included in these talks, but it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. One other note, again, the team, the Vikings, we were anxious to see where they lined up. The players want Adrian Peterson back, but the Vikings have been largely silent, saying they're lining up behind the commissioner. In other words, the translation is, we'll let Roger handle it. So, sports law continues off the field with major running backs in the NFL. First Ray Rice, as we continue there, and now Adrian Peterson with his legal case resolved. We wait for his NFL legal case to be resolved. Arbitrations are the name of the game this week in the NFL for running backs outside the field. See you next week.